Tribe Podcast.
All right, welcome back to episode 194. We're actually down in deer camp. Well, actually, the old deer camp, I guess you could call it. This is your boy, East Coast Trev, and my good buddy, Mr. Madman Mardik.
Present.
What are you doing, buddy?
Oh, sorry, I thought I was in a town meeting.
Town meeting? What were you doing in town meetings?
I'm on the Ag Commission, buddy.
Oh, that's not that important.
Taking care of the local farmers.
Nobody actually cares. And
Very important. Remember that next time you drive by a farm and you're like, damn, I wish I could hunt that.
Yeah, right. Has it gained you any access to anything at all?
I'm very a good person when it comes to my political obligations, you know?
What does that even mean?
Deals.
What is
Yet.
What is? So you're not like Joe Biden, is what you're saying?
No.
No?
Nope.
Well, okay, fine. Whatever you say.
It's above your pay grade, bud.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just keep on keeping on, I guess. And we got our good buddy, Mr. Mark Buzzell, is down from Maine. What's up, Mark?
Not much. Glad I made the trip.
I'm glad you made the trip, too. I mean, it hasn't even started yet, but we figured we'd start off right with a nice podcast here in camp. And it's been a couple of years since we've been here, Mark.
Yeah, because the last time was before COVID.
Yep.
And then after that, you couldn't travel from state to state no matter what. So it's good to get back together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to be back down in camp. Dude, what do you think about camp, Steve?
I want to live here.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Go home tonight.
When I walked home, when I came down for the first time, I also was the same exact way. Like, I definitely just want to live here forever and ever and ever. But, well, let's break through. Let's do the sponsors and all that good stuff, and then we'll get into a good BS session here in camp before we start off the little turkey camp where Mark came and joined us. What do you say?
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, Mardik, you got a killer's corner or what?
I do. This is the week of the Scots. We got Scott Cy with a northern Maine bird, Scott McGregor with another bird.
Sear.
Yeah, same thing. Your terrible name calling is rubbing off on me. And Scott Allen. And then we got our homegirl, Heather MK. I know she really wanted a bird really bad, and she got it done. Reminder, registration for Tri-State Skin Divers and Tri-State Leaderboard Tournament are now open at www.tristateskindivers.com. The entire month of May, you can contact them with any questions at tristateskindivers@gmail.com. Also, we have second annual Saddle Up Saturday, June 24th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Wild Edge Inc. Anyone who's just looking to get into saddle hunting or a seasoned veteran in the mobile hunting game, come down and hang. There will be plenty of gear to get your hands out and try. Lunch will be available. Bring your bows to take a crack at the iron buck and steel rabbit.
Oh, he's going to do those?
Of course.
Mm.
You going to bring your bow? Oh, you won't be there.
I won't be there, buddy.
I'll be there. Guys, make
double
sure
at work.
Come hang with me. It's going to be a good time. Again, that's Saturday, June 24th at Wild Edge headquarters in Moodus, Connecticut.
Awesome, bro. Sweet. Appreciate the Killer's Corner. Let's start with our sponsors. First is Huntworth Gear, huntworthgear.com. If you guys don't have Huntworth, you're probably missing out on a lot of really good stuff. We had a couple of questions actually popped up on the internet about the most important or your favorite thing of Huntworth, and I definitely went with
So
hoodie.
did everybody else.
I think everybody went with the hoodie.
Shelton hoodie.
Shelton hoodie's definitely it.
Heat boost vest.
Yep.
So I threw in the Durham pants because it was my next favorite that wasn't mentioned.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. And then the rumor of potentially a Heat Boost sweatshirt coming out in the market this year. So that's
and socks.
Ooh. Well, I don't know if they're going to do socks, but they should definitely make socks.
That's what Tracy said.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, he said that on the podcast, I think.
Yeah.
I was going to potentially work on that. But anyways, and if you guys haven't checked those guys out, make sure you get on to huntworthgear.com and get those that stuff from them because it's just
Shelton hoodie.
Good stuff.
If you're gonna buy one thing, just get the Shelton hoodie.
That's right. Second is Nor'easter Game Calls, nor'eastergamecalls.com for all of your turkey and deer call needs and any actually animal need at that actually. Mark is very busy, aren't you, Mark, making grunt tubes right now?
Yes, I am trying to get ahead of the curve. Every year they sell out. I mean, the more that they get out there, everybody sees them, everybody wants one, and it's just me. So I'm going to try to do a batch of 50 this year.
50.
Yep.
What'd you do last year?
I did a batch of 20. It sold out in like a week or two, and then I did a batch of 30.
Yeah.
And by the time I got back from hunt stock, I think I had 5 left.
So you did 50 total
Yep.
last year. So you're going to start with 50 and
Yep.
then make another 50 after?
Maybe.
Is that what you're going to go in? I mean, if I would definitely, once these things go live, get onto the website and buy yours now, because you're going to miss out, especially with deer season.
Well,
right
they're
around the
all
corner.
different too.
Yes.
So the sooner you get on and get you can pick the one you want.
Right.
The longer you wait, all the good ones are going to be gone.
Yeah. And we'll do a big
But
announcement
with
when
that
they're
being
ready.
said,
Yeah.
I took the last one that you had at Huntstock, and I still loved it. It's not like I got the short end of the stick by any means. They're
you
all
never
phenomenal.
You never get the short end.
Yeah,
of
and
the
yours
stick.
is mammoth ivory.
Mine's
So
incredible.
Yeah, and there may never be another mammoth ivory
they might
trunk
not.
tube that
like
comes out. I mean, that's just
It's like hunting like a caveman.
yeah.
Got to have your mammoth ivory.
Mammoth ivory.
Just get primal.
And also Bowhunters United, bowhuntersunited.com. Actually, I'm going to circle back real quick because there still is a ton of turkey calls on northeasterngamecalls.com right now, guys. All of our
Field proven.
field proven now. You might want to get them now because once those ones are sold out, there probably won't be a copy of those again. Would you say, Mark? I mean,
No, we'll probably always have something very close to it, but this aluminum series we wanted to keep it as a limited edition. So
Right.
once that's gone, that's it, and we'll probably go back to glass or, like you said, the new one that we're working on now.
the slate, yeah,
Yep.
because there'll be a new series that comes out next year, and it's kind of like Pokemon. You got to catch them all. You want to make sure to have one of every single one of them. It's the most important. But this is the first one with the new logo on it.
Yep.
And I know we didn't do all the greatest on advertising of these in the beginning, but now's the time. Probably they're field proven. There might be a little bit left, but I bet you come August there's not going to be any left.
A lot of turkeys.
No, I don't think so.
No,
Yeah.
because they'll definitely leave the table at Hunt
A
Stock.
lot of turkeys got their face blown off because of those things this year.
Yeah, they won't make it through hunt stock.
They won't.
No.
They will not make it through Hunt Stock. The thin series, and then there's the Windbreaker,
Yep.
which was one that was we prototyped it last year and then
Yep.
used it then this season. I don't want to get too crazy in this because we'll talk more about this throughout the podcast. But get on over to northeasterngamecalls.com and get yours. Also, News for Your Cruise brought to you by Bowhunters United, bowhuntersunited.com. Guys, down below there actually is a link to go and sign up for Bowhunters United. Now's the time to get on this. They are the advocates for you guys as bowhunters. And they do a ton for you guys. If you guys didn't listen to the podcast with Amy, get on that podcast and listen to it because there is a lot that they do for us as outdoorsmen and bowhunters. They pre-write all the letters that go to your Congress and Senate and so on and so forth. All you really need to do is just input the selection of what you need of your name and then just send it off. So they do everything. But get on over there, Bowhunters
You can
United.
be like, I'm Steve Mardick, and I approve this message.
Exactly. I mean, it's as
I'm
basic as
practically
that.
a politician.
It's it. Well, we already went over how you're a politician. You sly dog, you. But yeah, so the link's below. Click on that, sign up, and get yourself on Bowhunters United. And you get a badass T-shirt and hat and all the good koozies and all that whatever else she
Stickers,
decides to
decals.
send you. Amy's good people. It's just support good people because good people are good to support. So let's take a break. Let's go see Mr. Mike Salter for News of Your Cruise, and we'll get back to your regular program here shortly.
All right, guys, why don't we buckle up and see what's going on in the world of news with Mr. Mike Salter.
Hey everyone, we're going to start this one off in Pennsylvania, where SB 334 has been proposed, which would allow non-resident college students to purchase resident hunting licenses. The student would need to provide valid college ID and may be eligible for license and fee exemptions for no more than 4 consecutive years. This bill does need support, and you can voice your support through the link on the National Deer Association's website. Now to Maine, where the Committee on Inland Fisheries and Wildlife has voted down LD 728. This proposal would have aligned the wild turkey bag limit with the rough grouse limit in an attempt to simplify the state hunting regulations. The proposal would have taken away the management of wild game species from the state agency and ceded the responsibility and management to the legislature. The no vote is a big win for the Division of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife to keep responsibility for setting bag limits for those species. Now some national news, where the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has announced that $1.6 billion is being apportioned to state conservation and wildlife access programs. The record-setting distribution of funds is derived from the Pittman-Robertson and Dingle-Johnson excise taxes paid by the firearm and ammunition industry, as well as the angling industry. $1.15 billion dollars of that are directly sourced from the firearm and ammo excise taxes paid by the manufacturers. When adjusted for inflation, these manufacturers have paid over $25 billion since 1937. The funds directly contribute to wildlife conservation and provide funding for conservation programs, increased access to public lands, and hunter education. So a big win there, and it's all thanks to firearms sales and ammo sales. Now, for a type of poaching incident that I didn't even know was a problem, and that is shed poaching out west. A common tactic of shed poachers is to stash illegally collected antlers on public ground and then wait to recover them after the shed season has opened. Now, a commercial antler dealer and repeat offender in Montana has been sentenced for this poaching. In 2 incidents, the offender was caught collecting and caching elk antlers inside Bridger Teton National Forest during the closed season in Wyoming. The offender pled guilty in 2019 to illegal possession and transport of over 100 pounds of unlawfully taken elk antlers, and received 5 years probation and a 5-year ban from the Nation Elk Refuge, Grand Teton National Forest. He also lost his hunting privileges for 5 years and had to pay $15,000 in restitution. The repeat nature of these crimes led federal prosecutors to push for bigger penalties last year. As a result, the offender was sentenced to 90 days of home confinement, 5 years of felony supervised probation, and is banned from hunting and from entering federal public lands for 5 years. So hopefully this punishment is a deterrent from these types of violations in the future. Also in Wyoming, as of May 15th, the emergency closed shed antler season has been lifted. So get out there and find those sheds. Now to Missouri, where the Department of Conservation will be holding an online turkey fan mounting program on May 25th. During the program, an MDC conservation educator will discuss the steps to take after a turkey is harvested to create a turkey fan mount and what supplies are needed for the mounting process. The program is free, but registration is required, which can be done through the events page on MDC's website. Now to Connecticut, where the Connecticut Aquatic Resource Education Center will be holding several women-only fishing events. The events will have all-female instructors, and all tackle and bait will be supplied. The events will be on June 11th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., July 8th from 5 to 8 p.m., and August 15th from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m., all at the Care Center in Killingworth. Also on July 18th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Indian Wells State Park, and August 3rd from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Mohegan Park Pond in Norwich. You can look up the program on the Connecticut Fish and Wildlife Facebook page, where there is a QR code to register for these events. Lastly, also in Connecticut, anglers are being asked to help researchers who are collecting data on hyperpigmentation or melanosis, also known as blotchy bass syndrome, in freshwater bass species, which is associated with a virus. Angler reports of any bass, blotchy or not, are needed for this research, and anglers are being asked to report any bass catches on the Anglers Atlas MyCatch app's 2023 Blotchy Bass Bonanza. Also, don't forget to click on the Outdoor Drives affiliate link in the episode description to join Bowhunters United to protect and expand your bow hunting rights. As always, if you have any news to send along to me, it'd be greatly appreciated. Reach out to me at Mike Salter on Facebook or beard_bowhunter21 on Instagram. And with that, enjoy the rest of your ride.
All right. Thank you, Bowhunters United, for sponsoring Mr. Mike Salter. And thank you, buddy, for always getting the news in on time. Because sometimes I forget that we're even going to podcast, and then I get a text, news is sent, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's like a notification reminder, like, oh shit, we have the podcast
today. We got a podcast today, because Mike's sending news, so we got to put a podcast together.
That's news, not nudes.
Nudes.
Oh.
Nudes.
What?
Nudes.
Who?
Send Mike your nudes?
You can send him your snoods.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put them in an envelope.
Yeah. We need to send them
some long snoods.
We'll have a snood competition. We'll send them all to Mike for judgment. By the time they get to him, they're going to be rotten.
Yeah. Little borax on the end. You'll be all right.
No, don't borax them, dude. That will take away inches because it's going to shrivel up, like being in a cold pool. So you definitely can't put borax
The fountain
on
of youth.
So next year we're doing a competition who shoots the turkey with the biggest snood.
Next year, we're going to give away a call for the longest beard. I'm going to do it.
Beard?
Yeah.
The longest beard.
I don't care what state it comes from, as long as it's in this country.
One beard,
Yeah,
two
what if
beard,
it's
three beard. What's the? Are we going like NTF, NWTF?
No, it's got to be one beard.
One. I don't care if it has 8 beards, but whatever's the longest beard.
So one single beard.
Yep.
Longest beard.
Longest beard. Yep.
On bird or off a bird?
Doesn't matter.
All
What
right.
do you mean, on or off?
Well, because if somebody cuts it, you could cut it and it'll have a little bit more foreskin on the end.
Yep.
So then you could have the measurement.
Circumcised.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you want to do it on the bird.
I think that'd be the best way. I mean, just bring it up to the bird's chest, and
Yep.
there it is.
And then measure it
Done.
out. Just
Yep.
for fun, and whoever has the longest beard.
Yep.
And then
we'll give them away the brand new prototype we'll have for next year.
Well, yeah, that would be a smart. Yeah. All right, let's do that. We'll do a competition next year. We'll do a turkey competition. We do our squirrel competition. We'll do a turkey competition.
And we're doing
That'd be
coyote
kinda
this
fun.
year.
We're gonna do a
As soon as
coyote.
we get Mardic.
Doing something.
Yeah.
All right. The coyote's tough because we don't have a lot of coyote hunters. We got Seth Edwards. He'll be down. He'll give us some run for your money,
Yeah, he's been hammering them.
dude. Insane. I'm
I
excited
think with
to get
coyotes, it can't be a numbers game. We'll have to do like biggest or something
or
like that.
prettiest or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah, something different.
Because I think it would
Because some
be
guys will go out there and run numbers up, and some guys are lucky to get one. So you got to give everybody a chance.
especially considering like where you are in the country, right? Like, I mean, some of these guys that are out west, I mean, those guys just put the hammer down on a ton of them. You know?
But they'd be at a disadvantage for biggest.
Yep.
Correct.
Because
they
ours
don't
are so
have-
big in the Northeast.
Yeah.
We'll do something cool.
I don't know. We'll come up with something.
Longest tail.
Yeah. Longest
snood.
snood.
Oh, we're
it's all
fucking
good.
messed
No, but I'm
tonight.
excited to hang out. Speaking about Seth, and I don't think we talked about this much on the podcast yet, but I guess we're getting towards that time where we should probably talk about that with Turkey Camp coming. So we're gonna head up to Maine and go to Turkey Camp, which you guys have all heard about that. But Seth,
Edwards.
why am I even saying that? I said that.
Seth.
You're
Edwards.
usually so good with names. I don't know what's going on
Yeah.
tonight.
Seth Edwards from 207 Outfitters. They reached out to us when they found out that we were going to Turkey Camp in Maine. And they hunt in the area. So they decided that they would take a couple of their guides and kind of hang out with us at Turkey Camp and kind of guide us so that we wouldn't have to worry about that and kind of doing that. They're just good dudes. I mean, they just did a veteran hunt, a youth hunt. Mark was able to hang out with Seth. And did any of the other guys come down and they come in?
I can't remember his name now. I'm horrible with names, but he came into the shop and picked up one of the calls, and they came back and picked up another call. So yeah, I mean, Seth has been there. Plus, I can't remember the other guy's name. I feel horrible not knowing his name. But yeah, it's going to help me out immensely not having to guide 5 of you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll take a lot of the pressure off of me. I mean, I can show you on my phone and drop pins for everybody, but with them showing up, that's going to take a lot of pressure off. They're going to know where the birds are. So
I'm looking forward to it. And, you know, they do good things. I mean, they're a newer outfitter that's kind of getting going. Seth doing a ton of the night coyote stuff because, that's a huge thing he's into. Where I actually met Seth was he had guided for me at Big Machias Lake in Ashland for bears up there at camp. So that's where I actually met him, and then he, found
I
out
didn't
about
realize
the
he
podcast.
guided. I thought he was just in camp with you.
No. He guided. He was there first week of season, and he was a guide there. It was his first year up there, and we just kind of hit it off, and we got to talking and everything, and then we became friends on Facebook, and we were talking about the podcast and stuff, and then he started listening to the podcast, and then it came to fruition about the whole turkey camp and all that stuff, and I wanted to come down and hang out and guide and all those boys and stuff and just have some fun. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a pretty cool thing. All our boys will be up in camp. The Nor'easter guys will all be in camp. So there's going to be a lot of us, but it'll be fun, dude. It'll be totally fun and definitely worth every second of it, I think. And to shoot a bird that late
with a black powder.
Well, we'll see how that goes. I'm not really sure. Like, the more and more I think about this, like,
they're going to have to be in your lap, basically. 25 yards, 30 yards. That's it.
I mean, what are they, like, cylindered out for? Like,
they're the 8 gauges, like whatever you want, the 4 boards. But we'll be going with 10 gauges, and they're all modified, basically. Modified to full choke. Well, nothing's been patented yet at all. When you get there, we'll fire them off and see how they look. I mean, somebody's going to be with you with a backup shotgun anyway. So
Right.
you'll have black powder. You can take first crack, and if you miss, well, the guy with the 3.5-inch mag will back you up.
I think just to do it would be fun. I just want to reap with one.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that would be kind of fun.
Put a bayonet on the front and just juke them.
just straight murder have them.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm going to try to get some skeet. I'm going to try to get everything rigged up ahead of time for you guys.
Oh,
get
to have
there.
like a whole muzzleloader Olympics?
A skeet shooting competition. And because I have that 4-bore that I want you guys to try, so yeah, it'll all be fun.
50 cal and everything else.
I'll bring the 50 up so you guys can try it.
I'm looking
My
forward
shoulder
to
hurts already.
it. Does it?
No, that's
Do you know
not
what,
bad.
Do you know what keeps happening to me every time I shoot? I realize why I missed those turkeys, by the way.
If there's a bruise on your muscle, you missed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
Found a giant bruise on the inside of my
Again?
bicep. No.
okay.
Originally.
Yeah, that's a swing and a miss.
Yeah, but I just don't understand why I'm not seating the gun properly. And if it just doesn't make any sense.
It's usually because it's not straight on. You've got to move to an angle. If you're swinging sideways, that's hard to do.
That sounds right. That sounds exactly right.
Yep.
That would be exactly why it happened. But whatever.
Red dot.
I guess I'm gonna have to build another gun because I'm not gonna do it.
You're getting old
Am I
now,
over
bud.
and under?
You're getting old. You need the red dot.
Running gunning. I don't know. After seeing Mark pattern that 12 gauge, dude, I'm gonna try and go down. I'm gonna have to go to a smaller gun, dude, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm shooting a 3.5-inch mag, and my pattern's like 3 times your 20 gauge. Open wise, I mean.
Yeah, but it hits like a mule.
Yeah, it
Oh,
does. Yeah.
the 12?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't miss that at all.
No,
I like
I
it.
freaking love my turkey gun this year. I don't even think I've talked about it yet, have I?
I don't know, maybe.
It's probably I don't know when I got it. I was a kid. It's a youth model. It's a Mossberg 500 youth model, 20 gauge with a 22-inch barrel.
Yep.
I've had it since I was probably 10 years old, and it was already drilled and tapped. So I threw a base on it, put my red dot on it, threw the Indian Creek on it. Dude, it's a turkey killing machine, and it's nothing fancy, but it's so small, it's so light, it's so easy to run and gun with. I love it. I don't see a reason to get anything else.
No, I was actually, after you was showing me that yours was a youth model, I was like, maybe I should get a youth model.
It's just the stock's a little shorter.
Yeah.
It's a little shorter reach, to the trigger. I love it. And like I said, it's not like I went out to buy this gun for a new turkey gun. I've literally had it since I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
So is it a true youth model or a junior?
It's a 500C. Whatever that means. But
So I know
it's a
like
youth.
the real little ones, you can't. It's kind of like, I'll get them paw. I got a
no,
paw.
it's not like a cricket or what do they call it? What's
Yeah,
that?
cricket.
Cricket. It's not like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Just a little shorter reach on the buttstock.
Okay.
It's not much, but it's just enough.
So it's like a junior model because usually the youth models are little teeny things.
Yeah, no. It's
slick.
It's like it's almost full size. You're probably missing 3 inches on the buttstock.
If that, yeah.
Yeah. It's not like crazy.
I
but
think it's actually more of the reach from the drop to the trigger.
Yeah, for the cone. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we don't know all the
Just I'll bring it up.
technical terms.
I'll bring it up Camp Friday.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to
Why?
because we're gonna need backup guns, like good backup guns.
Listen, my
not mine.
backup shooting hasn't been too up to par this year.
Do you see what Lou shoots? Lou shoots a bolt action 16 gauge.
I like it.
No, I love it a lot, but like.
I've got one of those if you want to use it.
No, I don't want oddity guns. If I wanted oddity guns, dude, I'd go back to
You
when
have
I was a
an
kid.
oddity gun now.
No, dude, I don't like when I grew up. Do you know what I used to have to? Do you know what my dad used to send me in the woods bird hunting with? And now it all makes sense. It all makes sense why I had to shoot that gun. We would all play rock, paper, scissors, shoot for what gun that we'd use. Because, growing up in the house, there wasn't, we had a Remington 870, there was a Mossberg 500, there was, one really nice over and under, and then there was this gun, okay? And this gun was the gun, and we'd, draw straws to who ended up with this on a Saturday morning, because every Saturday morning we would go bird hunt, and there's this one gun that nobody ever wanted to end up with. It was a Savage left-handed with a poly choke on the thing, okay? And that was the gun you did not want to end up with, because it's left-handed. So the safety's backwards. So, like, if you drew that gun, then you'd be stuck with that gun, dude, and then you'd have to try and shoot left-handed. And you guys all know pheasant hunting. The bird jumps up, and you got to try and shoot it, and you're always the guy that's fumbling, and you got a left-handed gun.
And you put
so
the
the
safety on
safety's backwards.
repeatedly.
Yeah, exactly. It's backwards. It's such a pain in the
Might as well
ass.
throw rocks.
I've always been a Remington guy, but that's the one thing I do like about that Mossberg is having that safety right in
thumb.
the back. Yeah,
Yeah, the tang safeties
Yeah, it's
are
pretty-
really nice.
What do you call it?
It's a tang safety.
Tang safety.
Yeah, it's under your thumb. Yeah.
So that's how my over and under is, and then it has a selector high
Yeah,
and low,
high and low. Yeah, top and bottom.
which is super slick, especially turkey hunting, because like if the birds are in my face, I can select the top barrel first, and that's my closer choke tube, and then if they're far away, I can select it, and that's my 5.55, and then I know that I'm good for some range. You know, I don't know.
maybe.
It's so much fun though. But I
shoulder
mean,
it.
Yeah, I shoulder it. Right.
I'll tell you the one thing I do miss though. I miss the autoloader, and not for follow up shots. I like the autoloader
For the kicking of the mule.
that and not having that moving part. I hate when there's a bird coming in. My left hand's on that pump, and if you move a little bit, it
It'll
like
rickle.
clicks and
Yep.
I like the my 12 gauge is an autoloader, and I just like
That's because
not
it's a
ha-
Mossberg.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's blue collar, baby.
It's a Mossberg.
I found my dream turkey gun. I think it was a brown.
No, Benelli.
It was a Benelli 20
Yummy.
gauge. The
Yeah.
Dave Owens special. $2,500. I will never have one of those.
Jesus Christ.
Mine was a Mossberg. It's a 835 3.5-inch mag, and
I hated
had
that thing. I had one of those
yeah.
too.
See, I had to drop it because if it's not shouldered perfect with the 3.5, it won't load
Oh, really?
because the inertia will start to drive the shell out, and then the shell goes up, but it doesn't pick the next round up.
Pump or autoloader?
Auto.
Oh,
Oh, it was I didn't know they made an 835 auto.
I mean, a 935 too.
Yeah.
I had a 835 pump, and that thing would knock some fillings out your teeth.
Yeah, this one would too, and I still have it, and it's got the Indian Creek choke because you guys told me to do that and all that on that gun. But because it doesn't auto load unless you almost have to lean right into it. And this new Browning that I've got, I just had to pick that up. That Silverfield, that thing, it doesn't matter how you hold it, it loads.
Really?
So, yeah, duck hunting last year was awesome with it. I fell right in love with it.
Browning always makes a good gun.
Yeah, and they're not that much. That one wasn't that expensive. It was equal to all the other guns nowadays. It seems like they're all $1,000.
Yeah.
So I think that one's like 12.
Browning A5. I remember shooting one of those when I was a kid. They're just good guns.
They are.
I mean, everybody makes their own like branch of good guns depending on what their use is. You know what I'm saying?
Remington was always a go-to gun. The original 1100s used to jam in the duck blind. Everybody bitch because you had to take them apart and open up the gas ports with a piece of grass or bring a paper clip with you.
I didn't realize how many guns Remington's not making anymore since that lawsuit.
And it's a lot.
They stopped making the Model 7 right after I bought mine.
Yeah,
They're not
which is
making
a
the
great gun.
They're not making the 1187 anymore.
No.
They're making the
the 870 set. 87. What's that other one?
The 870 is a pump.
No. They made a Remington
870 Express, 1187.
Dude, I
Yeah,
think
1100.
1100. Now they make what, the V3
I
something
never
or other.
kept up with
They
it.
got out of my price range after that.
All my stuff is antique.
I'm about a $500 blue collar.
Well, we always had Remington 870s, 887. I'm sorry, the 887 was their full synthetic. Dude, it's my duck gun. I still own one. It's
No
a
kidding.
pump. It's full synthetic. All the way down the barrel and everything was all plastic. That shit would heat up. Dude, I love that gun. I've
Hand
killed a
warmer.
lot of. It's an 887. I've killed a lot of goose. It used to be my old goose gun. I still use it for turkey hunting too. But that gun was just a good beater. It's all synthetic. The whole entire thing. You used to throw it in the swamp, whatever. It was like the first gun out of high school that I bought on my own. And just beat the rocks off of it,
It's just
and the
canoe
gun
paddle.
still works. Yeah, it's a canoe paddle. I mean, my 870 was a canoe paddle too. I have 3 of them now. They're just good throw around guns. Like you can turkey hunt with them. You can put a B square on them and deer hunt with them out of a slug with a smooth bore. You can bird hunt with them. I mean, it's just a good all around gun.
And you can loan it to your buddy and not cry.
And it didn't matter. No, when I out of high school, the things were like $350 with the combo, the both barrels. Now they're like $600, and I'm like, dude, for an 870, come on. But I mean, I recommend that to everybody. Like
it is a good all-purpose gun.
It really is.
You can't. They don't jam.
No,
they shoulder good. Ventilated rib. Everything's good about them.
It doesn't really matter.
No.
That's the thing with guns. It doesn't matter if it's $1,200 or $300. You point it in the right direction, pull the trigger, shit's gonna die either way. Yeah.
As long as you're comfortable with it.
The deer doesn't care how expensive your gun was.
No. And see, that's the problem. Like, I have that old black powder that I bought and took it up to the ranch. I couldn't hit the broadside of the barn. And it all comes from the drop. Like, every gun sits differently. I don't know if you've ever looked at your gun. Your favorite gun, when you set it on the floor and put it against the wall, there's different. So if you look like it, I'll kind of give you an idea. I'll give you a visual. So here's my Browning. So if you take that Browning and you put it against the wall, you set it on its butt plate. See how straight up that is?
Yeah.
So that shoulders for me perfectly. You set yours, it may be here,
right,
or here. So it may lean back so that when your butt pad's down, flat on the floor, you can't put it against the wall. The barrel hits first.
Right.
So this is what they mean when you have that drop. So when you set mine down against the wall, it's pretty much right straight up the wall, and that's what shoulder's good for me. So when you set your 870 down, it might be tilted just a smidgen so that the barrel leaves the wall. So you have a drop there. Or if you set it down and it tilts so that the barrel up by the bead is touching the wall and there's a space all the way down to the receiver. So the guns will fit 3 different ways. So my black powder is like this. So it leans so that the stock is away from the wall and the barrel's touching. I can't hit anything with it.
What do you call that?
That's the drop.
The drop.
Yep.
Remember that next time we miss a turkey. The drop. The drop on this gun's all fucked up.
But that's when you ever pick up a gun in a store and you keep shouldering it and you're like, man, you got to keep squishing your cheek to make the bead go down. It's because of that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So when you pick a shotgun up at the store, you're like, man, I'd like to have that. And you keep shouldering it. You're like, man, I can't. You keep trying to bring that bead down and bury the bead, and you can't. The gun's not made for you. It's got the wrong drop.
That's why I kept missing turkeys before I got the red dot.
Yep.
I never got down on the bead.
That's correct.
I'd shoot right over their head every time. Put the red dot, now they...
Yep.
Good night.
Yep, that's exactly right. So when you check your gun, it'll have a different...
There's also... Can't you get them tuned, too, with the shimmed or something like that?
Yeah, you can.
And that changes that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Benelli was like that originally. Their Super Black Eagle 3... Something was up with the gun where you would actually shoot lower, so they actually had to shim the gun so that you could go and take it and put, so that it would shoot properly to where you were supposed to be shooting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it just when it shimmed, they shimmed it up, so they raised up the stock so that you weren't shooting. You would shoot low, I guess, or whatever the case may be on it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's so tough. Like I said, with that black powder, I love it. I wanted to hunt it. After you miss about the third pheasant, you're like, well, that's a third $20 bill I let fly off. I'm not doing that anymore. So I just go back to the truck and get my old gun. But Ethan, with that cannon of his, that 8-bore, hits a single shot. He just dropped him one after the other bore. You pick his gun up, and every time you pick it up, it's just glass. You just look right down the barrel of the bead. It's like, that's perfect.
And the thing is that they're just, going back on what Mardik was saying, was like, it's a tool, man.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what it is. It's a tool. Like, I hunt with a Beretta White Wing. It's discontinued. Is my over and under.
Yep.
It's like a $3,000 over and under.
Jeez.
I don't think that it's worth more than $5 now. I mean, I beat the rocks off of it. I mean, it's rusted. The stock and the foregrip are parting away from the laminate because they just gonna hunt the shit out of it. I don't care about it. It's a tool.
Me and my buddy Matty were just having this conversation last week. It was a debate between composite and or synthetic and wood. Mm-hmm. And everybody likes a nice wood, like a deer rifle. It looks great in pictures. It's classy looking. They're beautiful. All my guns are synthetic. They don't look as good. They're not as cool, but they're so much more durable. They don't scratch. They're weatherproof, waterproof, the humidity.
Usability.
I don't care because at the end of the day, I'm going to beat the shit out of it. I don't want to worry about babying my deer rifle.
Yeah, my deer rifle's that 270 short mag's a Browning with that black stock on it.
Yeah.
That's synthetic. The problem is that's one of those stocks that Browning had their lawsuit against them.
Yeah.
That it became sticky, like two-sided tape. So you had this beautiful black stock, and after like year 4 or 5, all of a sudden, if you grab onto it with your hand, you couldn't let go of it. It was just like super, super sticky. Crazy. Like if you threw it over your back and you had it on like an orange, vest or whatever, that furry stuff, like wool, they would peel it right off.
Really?
Yeah. So you had to send it back to them. They'd put a new stock on it, take them so much time, no charge, which was nice of them. But I just painted mine. I mean, like you said, it's a tool.
It's a tool.
So you couldn't wipe that stickiness off with gas. With denatured alcohol, it will not come off the stock. Whatever that rubber stuff is, so I just painted it. It's good enough.
I mean, there is a ton of guns that I have that are safe cleans that will never come out or be used.
Yep.
But my hunting implements they're tools, and that's what they're used for. I don't care if it's raining, snowing, sleeting, sunny. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
That thing's going in the woods and it's getting used.
Or it's going to push the boat offshore or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yep.
I mean, whatever. I mean, I've used one as a baseball bat crow hunting. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's just it is what it is. So, speaking about turkey camp and stuff, how's the turkey hunting in Maine been? What are you seeing up there? What's kind of going on? I know that there's a lot of talk about a lot of people wanting to hunt Maine in the late season and stuff. So
I think they should. We've got a lot of birds. I don't see a lot of hunters, and I've been on both ends of it, morning time and afternoon time. Mm-hmm. At the beginning of the season, it seemed like anybody that had 4 acres of cleared land had a turkey in it. It was really nice to see. A lot of turkeys. I got out early, had a lot of fun, a lot of jakes at the beginning. I did a swing and a miss on the big toms that I showed you, but I did take a jake out of that.
Yep.
So I've got one tag done. Brought the boys out from Mass. We had a great time, called in a jake on opening on Youth Day for RJ. He was able to get his first turkey ever, so he was pretty excited about that. His uncle was with me. That hooked him, so now he was up last weekend, and we were able to get 2 birds out for him, and he doubled up. And so now they want to come up and meet you guys at turkey camp because they want to turkey hunt some more.
Yeah.
So
I don't blame them.
I think it's going to be good. I mean, obviously in Maine, our season's behind yours. The grass isn't quite as tall yet. So we should be able to sit on the sides of the fields and get them to come in. The grass won't be knee deep. It'll probably be to the midway up your thigh.
Yeah.
So the big birds will still, I think, cut that grass. If not, we have tons of cornfields that are still barren. So we'll put you on the edge of a cornfield.
What about the timber deer? I'm a timber hunter.
Well, the problem with Maine
timber,
is
Maine.
you can't. There's no such thing.
Come on.
No, really.
Bro, there's no oak flats. You've been to Maine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's all pine groves.
Yeah, what happens in Maine is the minute you walk into the woods, you need to turn around backwards so that you can continue. You might, if you could find a ridge or something. There are ridges. Don't get me wrong. There's places where you can see 70, 80 yards in the woods. Very rare. 9 times out of 10, it's alders. It's going to be all those little tiny mini Christmas trees, all the green growth. You just can't see. So if you were you literally would have the turkey within 10 yards, 20 yards tops.
That's where I like them, sucking on the barrel.
They would be.
I know what you're saying, though.
Yeah,
it's hard
but-
for them to even come through it.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very, very thick. And it's because it's blowdowns everywhere, so you can't sneak anywhere. They'll hear you coming a mile away. So you're better off to sit on the edge of a lot of these fields. And those are fairly open because most of the fields were much larger in the original day, in the 1800s. And they've collapsed back. So it's older growth so that you can get into the woods there because they used to be fields.
So a lot of these birds are just roosting right on the field edge.
Right on the edge.
Pitching right down into the field,
Yep.
doing their thing, and flying back up.
That's correct. Yep. They'll stay
Me
in
and
those
Mark are
fields.
going to be running around trying to find timber fucking birds. 'Cause I don't know.
Well, listen, I got nothing against a field bird. If I drive by one in the field, then it's on.
I totally agree with you. I mean, I'm going to... It's legal up there to reap. I'm going to try it. Like, it is what it is. Like, we're going to make it happen.
Well, even if it's not reaping, I mean, how many times have we spotted a bird in a field,
Try and get around it.
circled around it, and called them across to the other side?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's tough up home. I've tried that a couple of times because I've always got like 3 people with me, so it's impossible. But most of the time, if I get busted or I'm trying to sneak on him, I can't get him back out. He knows I went around that way. He'll just sit there and hammer on me and gobble.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll kind of circle around him again. Then he'll go back over where I was and get away from me. So I gave up trying that. But you're right. Reaping would be kind of cool.
I just think there's a lot of options. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially up there where it's not posted.
No, it's almost
hunt
all
it.
the place we got for you guys set up. It's not posted.
Yeah.
It's all good. I've got permission on a few, but it's good.
Interesting. And actually, so Maine, it's funny. We were talking about it opening day. This is my 20th season turkey hunting, and I started in Maine. So this will be, if I kill a bird in
You'll wrap
Maine,
around.
it'll be 20 years since I killed a bird in Maine.
Wow. This will be my first in Connecticut if we can get it done. I've been down here before. We had them hit and gobble.
Yep. Did you come the same week?
Nope. A week later.
You came a week later.
Yeah. Remember the grass, how wet we got crossing the field? It was almost waist deep.
It's about waist deep now because it still grew in that fast.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the birds are still kind of hammering on. They seem a little bit lonely. You're seeing them in the fields. I mean, the ones we're going to go after tomorrow, I mean, I seen them in the fields, and they were going in there to roost in the public, and
Yep.
we'll see what ends up happening. But
I'm anxious for it. It'll be a lot of fun.
yeah.
I said I've always been one to hate mornings, but the more I've done it this year, get up at 3 a.m. and go, the more I've kind of enjoyed it because it's not just about the turkeys. It's about hearing everything wake up.
It's a different spring turkey hunting morning sunrise is way different than a sunrise
For deer hunting.
Totally
different.
Way
Yeah,
different.
number one, you got to get up at 3 so you can get things started. I mean,
turkey mornings hit hard.
well, I noticed that because down the road I have a place that I go, and I was looking at sunrise. And I go, okay, well, all right, sunrise is at 5:15. So if I get there at like 4:45, that's a half hour before sunrise. It should be good. So I got there at 20 minutes of 5, and they're already in the field.
Why did they drop down so early in Maine?
I don't know.
That same place didn't the next time, though. They were like 45 minutes later. It's just strange.
Wasn't it Bishop that was telling us that he shot that bird like wicked early in the morning?
He was in where the hell was he?
Maine.
No, he's in Vermont.
Maine.
No, he's in Vermont.
No, he killed two Maine birds.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, you're right. It was Maine. It was the morning that I killed one feller, and he texted me that he just shot one, and I was like, "Did you shoot it out of the tree?" And he's like, "No," and I'm like, "Dude, my bird's still in the tree. Like, he's not even close to fly." Like, I had it figured another 15 minutes before he would fly down.
Yeah.
And Bishop already killed one to me.
That doesn't even make it's crazy to me.
Now, we talked about like official sunrise chart for where he was and where I was, and they were off.
But how much?
About 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, so 51 weeks ago I was here.
51 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So what does that mathematically equate to?
51.
1 week less than a year. So
Yep.
1 week earlier.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe I was here earlier. Yeah, because that's what it says on my. I was just looking it up real quick to see when I was possibly here.
Did you come before Will or after Will?
That was after. Yeah.
Yeah. So Will was here the second week? Yeah, it would have been the same week.
That's what, because we went fishing with Seth, obviously.
They are early. How far do we have to drive from camp to some of the hunting grounds?
Camp's a mile into the woods, so if we get rid of the mile, when you hit the dirt, one of them is about 8 minutes to park, and then all the rest are 15 to 25
that's
minutes.
not bad.
It's all really close.
For Maine specs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he did it by minutes,
Right.
so that's pretty legit.
Yeah, so tomorrow's
So,
spot's going to be 31 minutes.
Usually
from
go to
camp.
me and like, just around the corner there.
That's how they do it in the
That's
Midwest,
funny.
too. The Midwest. Go down there until you see that elm tree, and then bang a left. The elm tree's 350 fucking miles from wherever you are. Like, it's in the middle of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just down yonder. Don't worry about it. I don't know. New England's just totally different.
Everything's about a half an hour. About a half hour.
Everything's a half
About
hour.
a half hour.
Yeah, don't worry about
About
it.
a half hour.
Give or
How far
take
is
another
Walmart?
half
About a
hour.
half hour.
Give or take half an hour. But it's only about a half hour. That's about how it goes around here. It's just acidine and ridiculous.
No, Maine's nice. I love it there. I mean, it's got ups and downs like any state does, but as far as the hunting seasons, it's pretty good. It really is. I mean, our bird season's good. Deer season's good. Turkey season's obviously good. I was surprised how much traffic I saw on opening youth day. That surprised me.
Really?
There's quite a few vehicles on the road and watching people yank into fields, and yeah, I was kind
Are
of.
you seeing a lot of out-of-staters now that they're doing this whole chasing 49 thing?
No, not really.
No? No more, no less?
Like I said, every place we're going, I'll be shocked if you see another turkey hunter.
Really?
Yep.
I'm wondering
Well,
later in the year.
Mark's pretty deep into me. I would think that if you're coming from out of state, like obviously we know Mark, so that's our destination. If you're coming from out of state, you're probably stopping well before you get to Mark. Why would you go that far into Maine if all you want to do is get a Maine bird?
Very true. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to.
Stay
There's plenty
closer to the border.
Yep, there's plenty more down in the Augusta.
Southern
Portland.
Maine.
Yeah, Southern
Yeah,
Maine. Yep.
Southern Maine.
Yeah.
As long as you're over the border, it counts as a Maine bird. Why would you drive another? How far are you from the border?
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
3 hours.
See, you're not going to
Why
go
go another
2.5
hours? If you don't
unless
have
you
to?
know somebody, right?
Yeah, because Maine is massive. Like I said, you just drive and drive and drive and drive.
Because if you're doing your 49, dude, you're going to try and bang out
Well, you stay
Vermont,
right there in that
New Hampshire,
Exactly, yeah.
kind of
Upstate
take
New
that
York.
corner. Yeah, yep. It's all right there. So it just makes more sense than that.
Are people really trying to do 49 birds? What you see? Really?
Yeah, trying to kill
In
one
one year?
bird in every state. No.
Because they'd be moving fast.
No, they can do their slam. A lot of people do their slam,
In a year.
In
Or
a
try to do
year.
it in a year.
but it takes a while to do the 49. 49 is a tough one. It takes a couple of years.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
I got 2.
that
You
is
got
that
two
is cool.
this year.
I've only got one.
I got 2 states.
I'm trying for 2 tomorrow.
I'm trying for 3 next week.
So
I
yeah.
got 2 too, I think. 3.
Now, if I
No,
can
you
get it,
got Maryland,
Maryland,
Connecticut,
Connecticut,
Maine.
Maine. Where else I killed a turkey? I should have killed one in Virginia, but that state fucking sucks. I'll never hunt there ever again. So
You'll
I'll
never
do
get your
my
49. You're
I
gonna
fucking hate that
stuck
state.
on 48 for life.
I hate that state with
Yeah,
a passion.
You said it was tough going. I mean, real tough.
Mountain wise, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll do West Virginia because I heard West Virginia is off the chain.
Yeah.
But Virginia for me is just out of the question. I hated hunting there. It was miserable. Sucked.
Well, you only hunted one spot in Virginia, too.
No, I hunted more than one. Because I hunted with
Sean?
No, I didn't hunt with Sean. I hunted with Hunt Fish Trap. I can't. Why am I? I'm drawing a blank. No, but I did hunt other places, and we got some turkeys that come in and stuff, and I did some running gun on them. It's just a tough state, man. I don't know. It could have. I mean, it could be anywhere, right? But it starts. It starts early. That's the problem.
The cool thing about turkey when it comes to out of state. It's way different than deer. Like deer, you're either on it or you're not, and scouting, and you're looking for a decent buck to take or whatever. Turkey, it's just like you can just wing it. Just hit
really
the top,
can.
hit the topo map. This looks good. Let's go in there, and all you got to do is be close enough to hear a gobble, and you're in the game.
I haven't hit a field yet this year in the morning that I haven't heard a gobble back, and I haven't roosted a single bird.
At night.
No, I just drive there. I'm like, they got to be here. And I go set up and do some listening, and there they are. I'm like, perfect. Just like with Greg and the boys, they're like, where do you want to go? I'm like, well, there's all my pins. So they chose one, and we went up to Borland's Field. I'm like, let's set up. And sure enough, they hammer. Because at first, they weren't making any noise, and then they started calling. I'm like, told you.
Yeah.
It's just
well, and then that's
weird.
the other thing.
They're everywhere.
If you did end up somewhere and you didn't hear anything by 6 o'clock, you get in the truck, you go down the road, and try again. Eventually, you just keep.
Well, the problem with that
around
up there is they're already in the field usually by 6. So now you're stuck. Yeah, you can see them, but what are you going to do? It's impossible to walk the woods around them. You can't. It's too thick. They'll hear you.
So you reap them.
Yes, you could. Absolutely. Yep.
Can you hunt with a rifle for turkeys up there?
No.
Good.
I'm going to have to bring the 12 gauge.
Because Maine, you can. I mean, Virginia, you can hunt with a rifle.
Well, that's insane. That's stupid.
Yeah. That's why I hate that state.
Why would you ever allow somebody to kill a turkey with a rifle? What if I'm sitting behind some of these decoys, like the ones I told you that I bought this year, those avian or whatever. Holy jeez, dude. I mean, they look real. So there I am sitting behind it, and you slam the brakes on in your old Virginia pickup truck and send one downrange. You got me.
Mm-hmm. That was kind of one of the things that kind of deterred me from ever going back to that state.
Well,
was one of that.
Especially if that was somewhere like Maine, where you don't need permission.
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody says that private property is not really private property, but at least if you're on a permission-only state, in theory, you should be the only person there.
Well, it's verbal
Maine,
permission down there.
Anybody can show up. Joe pickup truck shows up with a Bud Light in one hand and a 300 Win Mag in the other.
That's nuts.
Well, the thing is, it's verbal permission, so I can just say, "Oh yeah, Johnny told me I can hunt here."
Mm.
Yeah, because Steve told him he could.
Yeah, and then so what's going to happen?
Hey, leave my name out.
So what are they going to say?
You're the one that said it.
So what are they going to say? Oh, all right, then just go home. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they can hunt pretty much anywhere you want to hunt, right?
Go down the road and ask the lady if they gave permission to Johnny.
It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. It's the same with Maine. Like, it doesn't matter. You can hunt there, but if somebody asks you to leave, then you got to leave, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's like
you can't go back either.
So
it's
who
done.
cares? You know?
Because Maine's very strict. If let's say you decide I'm going to jump this posted property, it's a $500 fine, loss of weapon, forfeited to auction and loss of hunting license for 1 year.
Yeah.
So no, they're very strict about posted property up there.
Yes.
So
Oh yeah, I know how it works. I'm a big fan of Northwood Law. Yeah, I used to love that show. Warden McCabe.
I've got all their signatures on a turkey
Oh,
call.
those are
The
best.
giant turkey call.
Yeah, all their signatures are on it for everybody that was on that show. Yeah.
Have you been to the shop yet, Mark?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, then you'll see the giant turkey call. You'll understand.
Yeah, it's giant. Like,
It's probably as big as
Does
this
it work?
table looking thing. I mean,
not for turkey. I don't know
No,
what
but does it make it? Because is it movable?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
It just sounds like, I don't know, like maybe a moose that's pissed off or something. But it doesn't sound like a turkey.
Oh, we're definitely gonna play with it.
Yeah, I've got a picture online.
We can make
with
some
me
reels.
holding it
I
with a
think I've
turkey.
seen it.
Yeah, it's
picture.
big.
I've never
we should
seen it
make
in
some
person.
reels. We should make some TikToks. And
Have
reels
somebody
with-
in behind you while you know what I'm saying? Be like, check this out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can do oh, check out my mini clucker. Oh, check out my nor'easter cypress. And then this is the
Magnum call.
radio ale.
This is what I bust out for. This is for windy days.
Nothing better than that.
Yeah, the Katahdin
You want to
call.
call? You want to call in a turkey in Maine from Vermont?
Yeah.
That's right.
You want to
Call them across state borders.
You can kill two states in one shot.
Yeah, peak to peak.
Hold my beer. So
Yeah, no, you'll have fun in the shop.
whole
We all
stick
will.
of chalk.
yeah. Speaking of the shop, anything new kind of going on? Like let's take a tutorial ride kind of through what is on the website now, what is for sale, and kind of some of the stuff that you got going on.
I mean, everything that's always been there for the most part. I mean, we've got obviously the Windbreaker, which is the brand new call with your brand new logo. So that's now on the website. Those are aluminum surface with a glass soundboard. Again, we call them the Windbreaker for obvious reasons. And then there are some purr pots for the first time. I think they're about 3-inch. Again, just for purring and cutting. That's for the turkey. Then obviously the mouth calls. We have the cheating hen, the widowmaker. Those are still available. I made a bunch of those this year as well. What else is there for turkey calls? There are some locator calls that are there. There's a turkey tube call that's just obnoxiously loud. And I'm sold out of owl calls. And what else was there? Obviously, crow calls, there's only a couple left, same thing. That stuff all goes fast at the beginning of the season. And I try to stay caught up with it. But, again, where it's just me trying to do a little bit of everything, I almost have too many things, really.
But so you said you're out of owl calls.
Yep.
If somebody wanted an owl call, they could reach out to
Oh,
them.
yeah,
and
absolutely.
You turn
Yep.
one up for them.
Yep.
It just wouldn't be like click and send the next day.
That's correct. It'd
Right.
take a couple of days to get on it. And
Right.
I mean, a lot of people, of course, they don't realize that as well. I probably should be careful saying this, but I don't mind doing a video chat where somebody can get a hold of me and I'll say, what do you want? And they'll be, something blue, something black. Well, the video chat helps because Trevor's seen it. I mean, there's hundreds of blocks of wood in my shop, all different colors, blue, red, pink, purple, everything. So with the video chat, I can spin the phone and be like, what color you want?
Right.
I'm not saying that's the exact color you'll get by the time I crank the wood down, but it'll be darn close because
Right.
it's Mother Nature, so it does change. But I've had plenty of people do that, say, I want that one,
Right.
and I'll pick that block out for them and build the call. So, I don't mind video chats. People, if they have one of my calls, sometimes something will fall apart or they don't like something or something happens. I've always been available. And everybody knows I'm in the shop 7 at night till midnight.
And it's lifetime warranty.
Yep, lifetime warranty, send it back. I had one call, there's a little issue with it. I actually sent down, they'd purchased another call, and I sent down a return label for the other one. I'm like, there's your return, just ship it back to me. I'll get it all taken care of and get it shipped right back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's one of the nice things. So if you have one of the older versions, you don't like the sound, whatever the case may be, just send it in and
Yeah, I'll
and get
retune
it
it.
all fixed. Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Nope.
With the stuff that you have now, so the big thing is that we were talking about at the beginning of the podcast during the sponsorship stuff was the windbreaker,
Yep.
which is an aluminum over glass.
Yep.
Absolute screaming call.
Yep.
Aluminum is a tough call to play for someone as, a beginner, a little bit tougher, just have to get the kind of feel and what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a little bit tougher, but it's not like horribly tough. But it's a great call. Aluminum is one of those pitch change calls where
it is.
when
Yep.
it strikes, it strikes.
Yep.
It's like the Ridge Runner. You have more Ridge Runners left?
No.
No.
I'm working on it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working with Dad on that. Aluminum, the best thing I can say to anybody, be it my call that they have or somebody else's aluminum call, it's all about the striking surface. Every
Clean.
bit of it. So let's say you're brand new to aluminum and you've always used slate. Slate's rough. Aluminum is not. That is just spit shined. Start out with 220 grit. Sand your spot with 220 grit and see how it sounds to you. If it's still a little tough for you to play, bring it down to 120 grit. Put some big deep scratches in it. I mean, but you don't have to push right down the sandpaper and just destroy the call. Just lightly sand it with 120 grit. Try it. And if that works great, then you can work your way up those grits all the way to 400 grit. And I use mine at around 400 grit to 320 grit. That's where I can make my best sounds. Where Trevor may do it with just a Scotch Brite. It all depends on how you're holding that striker and how you play the aluminum. But I think that's where, even with the 207 guys, they had never used aluminum before.
Right.
And I had to let them know, hey, don't be afraid to go after that aluminum with some heavy grit to get you started where you get comfortable with it. Then you can change. And again, you got to clean your striker more often. But as far as sounds, you can't beat it.
No.
That thing screams.
I mean, Mark Drury said it, pitch kills.
Right.
I mean, that's one of the things when, in designing and messing around with some of these pot calls, like we were sitting, prior, pre-podcast here, was messing around with different calls and talking about different sounds in pot calls. Like, some have a little bit more rasp, some are a little bit higher toned, some of them have a pitch change from high to low. Some of them, and it's all different in what you like and what you are confident in striking. Like, there's some things like, I'm a huge bat wing guy when it comes to a mouth call, but I got to have a high pitch bat wing that I can still cut with. So you can get the rasp, but then you can also have the high pitch. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever you feel most confident with. When I go in the woods, and they're all going to kill. I mean, they're all going to kill. Yep. But you have to just know what's best for you and what you feel confident in it. And, if you're not confident in what you're using, there's no need in you using it, honestly.
No, and that's where we were talking about what, like I said, when Ethan was using that call in the blind, Ethan Bubar there, with me sitting right there, it's my call, and I'm sitting right there listening to him like, geez, it sounds okay. But I'm inside of a square box, and it's made out of wood with a little window, and he's striking it. I'm like, it sounds okay. And that's when I told him, I said, let me head out. I'm going to go down the road. Like I said, I got about 30 yards from him. I'm like, holy, that sounds awesome. Because he had gone up to the window, because I wasn't in his way, and started playing that call. And as I got closer back, it changed pitch again, where I was like, it's okay. But that call, like you said, it's not designed to have right in your face. That's not what it's for. It's designed to reach out there and touch them.
And that's kind of one of those things, like, you can kind of mess around with it and get a little bit away from it. You want, like people are like, oh, I don't want that squeak or that high pitch, like on aluminum, like that squeak and stuff. That's normal to any type of turkey. If you listen to what a turkey sounds like, you don't want the picture perfect, sound. You want to have the sound that changes and varies. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'll run you through a call. So like an aluminum call. So I can stay on the high end of it and still have that call. But then if I break down in the low end, and you still have the tone change. And it's just I don't know. I like it. Like, that's an aluminum. So that's an aluminum over glass. That's the windbreaker itself. This is actually a prototype that's coming out, but it's still high pitch. It's high pitch for a slate call. It's high pitch, but it still has a pitch change, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a pitch change. So the further from the outside of the rim, and you're doing your circle, when you widen it into an oval and you come down into the center of the call, your tone is going to change, and you're getting the back end drop on it. Where when you have your back end drop, that's where the tone change comes in, and that's what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? But it's a higher pitch. I don't know how
and again, that's perfect because that's what I was saying is it sounds a little different when it's right in your face, but you give that call 20 yards and it's spot on. I mean, I had a hard time telling, that was that same call. I'm like, wow, that sounds awesome.
And that's more important because that's turkey distance.
Yep. And that's our problem a lot of times. Like even Trevor will do it and I do it occasionally. You hold your hands way out. That's basically for you more than it is anything else. You can kind of tell the pitch that you're doing. I mean, but when I'm sitting out of the blind,
I full hand in my hand.
Yeah, but out of the blind, I can't do that. I'm right in my chest trying to be quiet with it while I'm sitting on the ground. Exactly.
And that's how you can tell what it is. Because up close and personal, it's a little bit different in hearing it.
Yep. And like I said, it's really and that's what was so much fun working with you over the years to get to where we're at. I mean, it's amazing how many years we've done this back and forth with calls, shipping them out, and at the very beginning, Trevor would be very cautious about hurting my feelings, and I finally had to let him know, dude, hammer on it. Because we had a bumblebee problem, remember?
Yeah. And
I had a hard time accepting the bumblebee theory. But it really was. I still have some of those calls just to remind me. To me, they sounded great. I'd be like, dude, you got to hear these. You got to hear these. I'm sending them down. And he'd get them and he'd be like, yeah, they're okay. But he wouldn't say, dude, it sounds like shit. And he's cautious. And would they kill a bird? Yeah, you guys killed birds.
Well, we killed birds.
Yep. But we wanted to hone it from there, and that's when he kind of got on me and said, no, try this, try that, try this. And we finally, this is where we're at now, where we're both like, wow. It's hard to believe we've come this far where we literally could patent these if we wanted to.
Well, the thing is, so one of the things is they all kill birds, right?
Even the oyster shell.
Correct. I mean, they all kill birds. When some of the calls that we've done previously in past years, I can pick it up and make the noise that I want to make with it.
Yep.
Can somebody else pick it up and make that noise with it? I don't know. I know confidently now if you were to hand them a thin series slate call or this new Scream series or whatever we're going to end up calling it, that we hand that to them and they're 100% going to be able to make the same exact call.
Yep. Yeah, our thin series, bar none, I think is as good as anybody's call in the market. Definitely. No soundboard, slate, perfect size on what it's got to be. But yeah, like I said, this windbreaker and this new screamer that's coming out, just wow.
Yeah, the windbreaker is one of those calls that going back on the aluminum thing, because that's what it is. It's aluminum.
Yep.
But if you don't understand or know aluminum's a little bit harder to play. You have to take your time and scratch it up and get it to where it needs to be able to use it. Where a slate call, I can hand you a slate call. Anybody does a circle on it, they know that they can make a call with it.
I still think it's like most turkey vests have a spot for 2 pot calls. I always will have an aluminum call and a slate call.
Correct.
I like the slate better personally. I like the sound I get out of it, the rasp and all that stuff. But I'll always have that aluminum call because, like we said, with the pitch change, you get that mid-morning or late, early afternoon, you can't strike a bird. Sometimes you just pull out that aluminum and hit it.
Yep.
Bang, he fires off. If you're not that comfortable with the aluminum, you can put it back in the pouch and get to working with the slate or the mouth call. But sometimes it just takes that one shot on the aluminum just to locate them.
Fire them off.
And then go back to the slate or the mouth call or whatever your preference is. But
I'm horrible with the blood I take. I've got a Ridge Runner, box call, mouth call, aluminum, glass, and slate. I got 6 calls with me.
Jesus.
But you never know. And
I don't.
I'm not that bad, but I have 2 pot calls, 3 mouth calls, a box call. Half the time I don't. Most of the times I just use a mouth call. But
they stay back.
You never know. And you're out there. Sometimes you're out there. Me and Trev will be running and gunning miles and hours at a time, and that's why they make turkey vests the way they make turkey vests, because you never know. When you killed your bird that morning when we went in deep, we even pulled out the box calls.
Yeah.
And we don't use box calls very often, but we got a response with them.
And the thing is, that's what I always loved about the Ridge Runner, because the Ridge Runner, you always had aluminum with you. It's a different sound coming out of they call them tube calls.
Yeah.
It just has a different noise to it. And that different noise can always, I can always lean on a Ridge Runner to strike a bird up in an area where I know there's a bird, but he won't strike to anything else, I know that the ridge runner is going to strike me a bird.
Yeah, because you can do anything on it. You can cut, yelp, you can purr, anything,
yeah. And it's aluminum.
Yep, and it's a pretty amazing call.
It's funny. So before y'all came into camp, I was here early, opening the place up, and I was going through my vest. I had, I don't know, 30-something mouth calls I found in my
You're welcome.
my vest. Like there's one just like
I found one of yours in my truck.
yeah, I got four plastic things absolutely chock full. I have a sleeve in there that's just full. There's like 15 bat wings in that thing. I found 3 ridge runners in my vest somehow.
Wow.
Oh, can I have one? Because I don't have one.
I have 3 ridge runners.
I'm taking one.
I got, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know where it all comes from. Dude, I probably have, and no joke, there's probably a dozen strikers. I have like a dozen strikers in my
I'll
vest.
take some of those too.
And
Man,
no, because they're all like, no, fuck
Chad's
off.
having a yard sale.
No.
And I am taking
Man,
advantage
your
of it.
sponsor treats you right.
Yeah.
Well, I have all those strikers, and then, I have 2 pot calls, a box call, and that's about it. That's about all I really carry with me. Mouth calls, two slates, a box call.
It's just funny, though. You always have your go-to. Like, the stuff that you kill with, you go right to it, and it usually works.
Yeah.
But you never know. You get those, like I just said, that the morning that we killed together when you killed your bird, we threw a lot of shit at those birds to finally get them to kill. Sometimes it's just a mouth call and he's dead. But sometimes you gotta throw everything at
I think
him.
it was just because we were sitting there bored out of our minds, so we just calling a call. That's probably more or less what it was. But no, I 94% of the time, I run one mouth call.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah, I do
don't run
shipwreck
anything.
or I do batwing.
Yeah, I'm a batwing kid. I always run batwing.
I can't kiki on a batwing at all. It's
Really?
weird. I can on a shipwreck cut, but
Yeah.
not on that. It's strange. And
The
then
square cut is normally the key one for some reason. I don't
Ghost
know why.
cut?
or if I don't take
What?
care of my
Ghost?
mouth call.
Yeah, ghost cut.
Have you ever done that? Leave it in the truck, and then the next morning you head out and you're trying to get it wet, but yet the reeds have stuck together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nicely high pitched now.
You're supposed to actually put like a toothpick in between the
Well, I
reeds.
didn't. I just threw it in the shit collector in the truck, and I got up the next morning, grabbed it, and there started to gobble. I hit it. I'm like,
You know
wow.
what else is a game changer too? I don't know if we ever talked about it. Non-alcohol mouthwash.
Yeah.
Soak them in some of that.
No
Keeps the
kidding.
bacteria. You ever get an old moldy one?
Oh yeah. The black
Hit 'em-
mold shows up and chuck it in the trash.
Hit them a
Yeah.
little bit of This isn't really helping you out with sales, but
That's okay.
You want to keep them fresh. Just put them in like a little dish with some use non-alcohol
That's the only thing I don't lifetime warranty.
Listerine.
And so but it'll take the mold off of them?
No, you basically sanitize it because you got bacteria in your mouth.
You want to know some crazy shit?
Can I finish?
Drinking coffee.
I'm
Oh,
educating
go ahead.
educating the
All right,
people
go
here.
ahead.
So you just take a little dish, especially like when you're done for the season, or like say you hunt on Saturday, you're not gonna hunt till next Saturday. Just dip them in a little bit of mouthwash, shake them out, and then you do the toothpick trick between the latex.
Yeah.
Let them dry that way, and then they're nice and fresh for the next time you take them out.
Bro, I didn't know it, but there's actually a mouth call disease.
Huh?
Yeah. So when you use a mouth call and say it's dirty or somebody else has used it or whatever, it's like mouth call strep or something where you can actually get like sick from using a latex call that's gotten like hand bacteria or shit on it. Guys,
Well,
it's
that
actually
makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't know it. It's called like collar strep or something.
I don't really make a habit of using other people's mouth calls.
No, I know. What's funny is because I was at I went to dinner or I was at the bar or something, and I was talking to one of the kids there, and we started talking turkey hunting, and we were talking turkey hunting, and the kid was like, oh, he goes, hey, we were talking mouth calls, and I said, oh, I got a set of mouth calls. I says, if you want them, I'll give them to you. You know, try this out. You know, they're from Nor'easter and this, that, and the other thing. So I give him the calls, and he's like, hey, are these clean? I'm like, yeah, they're clean. I was like, why? What's the matter? And he's like, oh, last time I actually got collar's strep throat or collar's something or other. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Like, you can actually get collar's strep throat, or I don't remember if it was collar's strep throat or collar's something or other. But
called
it's actually
mono.
it's from a mouth
It's
call.
mono.
So I gave the kid him. He's like, "Are these
Kissing-
clean? Have you used these?" I'm like, "No,
Kissing
I haven't
disease.
used them. They're brand new." But yeah, he was telling me about it, and I was just like absolutely blown away in the fact that you can actually get like it's an actual thing.
I'm guilty of that then, because I'll throw them in my case from the morning, and then I might go till the next morning. They're just laying in there all gooey.
Yeah, but you're not sharing them
No
with
way.
somebody else.
No, I'm not. No. I like you, but I don't like you that much.
He actually said he had gotten it out of a brand new one that he just gotten out of the package.
Mark tests them all before he
Mark
ships them
tests
out.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't
He's
from
gonna
Mark.
make sure they're
but-
tuned.
No,
I don't know.
I think a lot of that problem comes from my generation. I'm 58 years old.
Yeah.
I drank out of a freaking garden hose when I was a kid, and I'm still kicking.
Right.
Yeah.
So that shit, that's like when my buddy was sick with cancer and stuff. He had this weird pneumonia they gave him. All the nurses were gowning up and all that stuff. Not me. I'm like, whatever. I'm going to survive it. I've had everything.
Right.
So I think the newer generation, this little call thing issue.
Yeah, but I'm just used to. Eating dirt and
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
drop candy on the ground, you eat it. It doesn't really matter.
Nope,
I mean, you'd be all right.
God made dirt, so dirt don't hurt.
Yeah, exactly. That's like my
God, I
nephew.
haven't heard that in a while, huh? That was like the saying growing up.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
told you I was old.
That's what Mark's mom used to tell him all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, God made dirt, dirt
Dirt
don't hurt.
That's it. He used to
Or how
always
many-
eat dirt.
Fall and get a little boo-boo, rub some dirt in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll stop it from bleeding.
Yeah.
Pack it on.
We used to always do all kinds of stuff. I mean, it doesn't matter. You live in the woods. Too.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
makes it
think of how many
survivalist
times
ways
you drank out of a
life.
stream.
My entire life.
It's the same here. I mean, and some of the stream water, some of the best drinking water I've ever had. It's cold, and you're running through the woods, and I never get beaver fever or any of that other jotty or any of that crap. I mean, it could have, I guess, but I think that builds up your immune system.
Well, now they have all these freshwater straws and all that shit, dude. Just scoop down and give it an old fucking testaroo. I mean, you live, you die, you die. I mean, it's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I don't think you die.
I never worried.
I don't think I ever used hand sanitizer through all of COVID. And that shit was everywhere.
I did. I have to raise my hand for that because I felt bad in my line of real work, which is appliance repair. I don't want to kill off Grandma, and because we were all scared to death. I was wearing a mask and
Grandma was
everything.
drinking out of the same garden hose
Exactly.
as you, boy.
Yeah. So now when I look back and I'm like, what a moron. I mean, I got fooled like everybody else. No. I praise everybody that didn't get the shot. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. No, I did because I thought it'd be the right thing to do for everybody's house that I was going in to help.
Yeah.
And now that we look back at it, I mean, wearing a mask is just ridiculous.
It doesn't make no sense.
No, it doesn't. Unless you had a custom fit N95 mask that they have in the hospitals. And we didn't. I mean, people were wearing their underwear over their face. Mom made this for me. I mean, that literally is doing nothing. But, I mean, it all made us feel good. And it's unfortunate a lot of people got, shamed for it. But
At first we didn't know any better.
No,
right?
we were all scared to death.
Nobody knew.
yeah, I
You
mean,
know
I
what I'm
remember
saying?
having a long conversation with you on the phone saying, Trevor, you might want to do it.
Right.
I mean, I'm trying to convince you, that
Yeah.
from everything I'd heard, and I was just as, led down the wrong path as everybody else.
It's funny as I know we're getting off on a tangent.
Yeah,
but
it's
it's,
just like,
yeah,
where the
it's
fuck
alright.
are we going with this?
It's all good. It's a turkey mask. So anyway, I was driving through the neighborhood the other day, and there was a lady mowing her lawn. It's like 90 fucking degrees out, and she's wearing a black mask.
Well, people always have done that because people are allergic to grass and the allergy. Even
and
when
the
I mow,
dust and stuff?
dude, when I mow my lawn, I always feel like shit the next day.
Really?
Yeah,
I
from
love it.
from the dust and the grass and spitting out brown boogers and all that stuff. Like it'll mess
Oh,
you
so
up.
it's kind of a normal.
Yeah, I don't
thing,
think she was wearing it for COVID while she was cutting her grass.
No.
Never know.
No. It was funny when you see somebody all by themselves in their car back then
Yeah.
driving with the mask, like, I know who you voted for. Keep going.
Facts.
We better go back to turkey hunting. We're
It
going to
is
get in
what
trouble.
it is. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. We can talk it. The best thing is that we walked on eggshells during COVID. You wouldn't want to talk about that, but
Yeah.
after COVID, it's okay to
You can
talk
get away
about
with it now. Yeah, we won't be banned for life.
Looking back on it, like it doesn't even matter. Like what the fuck we're wearing masks for,
No.
The only mask I wear is during turkey hunting season. I don't even
Yep.
wear a mask during deer hunting season.
No, I don't either.
No, me
Nope.
neither.
No.
I barely wear one for turkey half the time.
Yeah.
It is annoying because it changes how my mouth shapes for calling with a mouth call, where you can't get that angle on your mouth with that mask over your face. I don't like it, but I do it. So
My problem with having a mask on while turkey hunting is just hearing a reaction gobble. So, like, my mask comes on at the last second.
Yeah. Well, you ain't got to worry about me because everybody I've taken out this year, like, you hear that? I'm like, what? He's right over there. I'm like, I have no idea. I didn't hear a thing. And they literally are talking to me, and I have to keep leaning towards them more while they're talking to me. And he's like, you can't hear that? I'm like, no, not yet. And then within about 100, 150 yards, I can hear a gobble. Outside of 150 yards, I'm nope. Nothing.
That's crazy.
It is. So it's hard on me, but like I said, when I was taking the guys hunting, they can hear them, hammering on me.
You're in those box blinds a lot too, so that can't help. And they're plywood blinds?
No, the blinds we were in, the plywood one, yes, you can't hear a damn thing. But the blinds I have now are those Tide Wees. They're, what are they, 270 see-through, which is...
Oh, full see-through.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. You can't see shit. It's just a place to let the bugs in. You can't... You'll see. I have one with me if you want to see it.
Are the black flies out yet?
Oh, my God, dude.
Bring the thermocell. Does the thermocell work for black flies?
I don't know.
Lemongrass.
All I know is
I use lemongrass spray for him.
2 weeks ago, I had a paintbrush out in front of me, just dragging his beard, and he had two hens with him. I'm like, I'm going to get him. So I kept calling. He kept dancing around out in front of me. He's about 130 yards from me. And I basically walked in on him because I knew where he was, and I got set up so he wouldn't see me. It got so bad, I left. I couldn't take it. They go down inside your mask, and they go in your mouth. It got so... I got a video on my phone that I'll show you. It's just... There had to have been probably 100, 150 of them just bombing me. And I was sprayed, but it's just so annoying with them bouncing off. You're getting in your corner of your eye and then down in your mask. I said,
I hate when you get the one buzzing right, and he's not on you, like he's on the outside, but he's buzzing right in your ear.
Maine sucks for that because now the mosquitoes are out. So now you've got both, like Greg and I last weekend.
Trevor won't use a thermosol. I'll rock a thermosol.
Sure. I mean, turkeys don't smell anyways. They don't care. You can smoke a butt. You can do whatever you want.
Oh, yeah, but it's not even the smell. I'll use a thermosol deer hunting, too.
Yeah.
I don't like permethrin. I'm not a big fan of permethrin.
No,
I do that, too.
I can see why. I mean, I just sprayed my yard with it because he's getting tick covered.
Yeah.
I mean, Maine ticks right now are ridiculous. When we go out, you get 4 or 5 on you just going out for an hour. Both dog and deer.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys ain't gonna have to worry about the bugs tomorrow because it's gonna be cold. Mark, we got to talk, bud. You bring that cold weather down for Maine.
I love it.
Come on.
I'm happy with it, though, dude.
You know what's gonna happen?
Been hot as
you know what's gonna happen tomorrow morning? The turkey's gonna have their beaks frozen shut.
I like 50 degrees. That's where I like.
It's gonna frost 55 tonight.
Yeah, I was talking frost tonight, but I think the rest of the week, I think it's like a high like 66.
Yeah, which is perfect.
Perfect turkey
It is because
weather.
you can put on your shirt and your vest, a couple shirts, and you're not sweating.
Mm-hmm.
You're just the right temperature.
No, but I think I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening tomorrow morning. Might be a little bit tough. Might be a little bit cold. Maybe we sleep till like 7. And then we just
Trev will look for any excuse to sleep in any chance he
I
gets.
do. I mean, I've been up at 3 o'clock in the morning repeatedly. I mean, think of me. I work in the shop till midnight. Then I get up at 3. I go turkey hunt. Then I work all day, come home, and I do it again. I can do it twice, and then by the 3rd day, I'm done.
I just like to run and gun on them. You know, like that. Wait for him to get out of the tree.
Yeah, like we did last year.
Strike the roads, and then just get on them, dude.
That was fun. Yeah.
The thing with turkey hunting is you don't need to get up early. All the time.
You guys reminded me. I had it in my show notes. I gotta say it. So Josh Stubbs had posted this a couple weeks ago on his Instagram story. He said, "Don't love sleep if you want to hunt turkeys on public." And ain't that the truth?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I kill all my turkeys on public after 9 o'clock because I never get up early.
I don't care what time we get up. I'm here to have fun. If we get a bird, great. We don't. It doesn't matter to me.
No, we definitely got to have some morning.
You want action, man. If you got to hear them gobble. You got to get the.
Oh, he gets them to go. Last year we got up plenty of times early. We didn't see shit, and then by mid morning they were gobbling all over the place.
Yeah.
Did we talk about this before we recorded? Right.
What's that?
I personally think the hardest time to kill a bird is the first hour.
Yep, I agree.
They'll gobble. They'll get you to think you're in the game. You're calling. They're responding.
Yep.
A lot of times, that's the hardest time to seal the deal. Yep. But you get the 9, we'll call it 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
10 o'clock, if he gobbles to the call, he probably wants to die.
Yeah.
I call them the rup birds because they're them bucks in the middle of November, them 10 to 2 bucks. Where they come cruising through between 10 and 2 and looking for another one. And the turkeys do the same thing.
Yeah,
Between
see,
10 and 2, you can kill birds.
Exactly, and that made so much sense to me with me talking to you about my morning birds locking up on me and then never speaking again. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Did he see me? And I have no excuse for it other than he'd go like 150 yards in the woods and hit me one more time to say, screw you, and I never heard him again. But yet, like I said, my late afternoon birds, when I go at 4 o'clock, when I get out of work or whatever, I'm screwed. It's like they've been dicked out. They want nothing to do with the decoys, with me. I can't even get Jakes to hammer back sometimes. It's like, what is wrong? They're done. They've had so much fun all day.
Yeah, I've never really hunted that late. I'd say 3's probably.
Yeah, that's the earliest I can get there in the
by
afternoon is 3. And the birds act very strange at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. They're weird.
Yeah.
They don't gobble back.
No, they don't gobble back. And then the Jakes will run to your decoy. They just don't care. The Jakes will run into the decoys and do weird stuff. But those Toms just want nothing to do. They just follow the hens. And it's over. So like I said, you have to sit yourself almost like deer hunting right on their path of travel.
Right.
To be successful. And if you're 200 yards off to the side,
you're not even in the game at
No.
200 yards.
Nope, you're not there. Gobble all you want. And that's something else that happens to me in late afternoon, like 4 or 5 o'clock, is those silent bastards. Where you're sitting there calling, and nothing happens. You look to your left, and there he is, looking at you, spinning around in circles with his girlfriend.
Yep.
So it's lots of fun.
I love
It
it.
is.
I love that late morning rush, though.
That's what I do too, man.
I'm going to try that from now on. Like I said, I've never tried the 1 o'clock time. I always wait till like 3 o'clock before I even go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that
I mean, by
anymore.
1 o'clock, a lot of time, I'm probably on a second or third piece of property by then, or I'm circling back. See, it's different for you because you have all those fields. But, a lot of times I'll start somewhere and then I'll just hit property after property after property. And sometimes I'm circling back to that first property at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But depending on where I'm at, I've got the patience, like especially if I'm hunting at the house on a Saturday and I don't really feel like going anywhere else. If I know there's birds around, I'll sit there for 2 hours, barely calling, like maybe periodically every 15, 20 minutes, just let out a series of yelps just to see if something hammers back. But I'll sit at the same tree for 2 hours, not hearing a single gobble, because that 10 o'clock hour hits. You hear that one gobble, and it's
Game
better
on.
get ready because he's ready to play. He's done fucking off with that hen that he's been with all morning, of the handful of hens. They all left him to go lay.
And like I said, I think but what do you do in my case where let's say you get up late, it's 9 o'clock, you get to where you want to hunt, and they're standing in the field.
That's tough.
You can't rush them, because if you go in, they're going to run in the woods. You don't see them again. You can't get around them because the way the fields are usually set up. I mean, now you're 400 yards on the other side of the field. Like I said, you can't cut through the woods because it's stupid loud and you'll poke an eye out. So you're really stuck with having to get there first and wait it out.
Yeah, that sucks. That sounds like it sucks. I don't think I want to come now.
You don't have to.
No, we're gonna have some fun. But yeah, that is a lot different than anything I'm used to, because
if you see them, you can't. There's no way to sneak up on a tom.
Right.
Not just walking through the field in camo. Not this fat kid.
See, we here, and obviously this is where I do 99.9% of my. Even when I went to Rhode Island, it's pretty much the same. There's always a way to get around. You just use the terrain or the vegetation.
Yeah, no, not in Maine.
And swing around and at least get within 150, which is, to me is a good working distance where he can't see you or hear you moving in on him, but he can hear the call.
Yeah. That's going to be different for you because there's no way to run the terrain like that in Maine.
Right.
No, we don't have those big ridges and the open terrain to cruise through. It's basically rabbit terrain. It's just hard brush. It's tough going, like at Ethan's place there, in the blind, Ethan. When we sat in the blind for a while and we kept calling. I'm like, let's go for a walk. There's a tote road behind him that they use for 18-wheelers to get lumber out of the woods, so they cut that pretty good. My God, it looked like Jurassic Park on that road.
On
in the
the
mud.
road?
It's all turkey tracks. That's amazing. But they liked it because, like I told him, if I was a turkey, I want to be able to see my surroundings.
Well, that, and you don't have to walk through all that thick shit.
Exactly. So they were running that road, and that's where we went down. We called some Jakes and had a blast. But you can see why they don't want that little tote road, because a coyote can be sitting right there and take them out. But this road,
especially if it's super thick on the sides.
It is, and it's 18-wheeler width. So looking down at the ground, we were just laughing. I'm like, look at there's hundreds of tracks in this road, so that they're traveling it.
So what about that though? So you've got your fields,
Yep.
you've got the thick timber, the pines with all the blowdowns.
Yeah, and the road.
Do you have a lot of roads, logging roads and tote roads and stuff like that
Yep,
through
yeah.
big tracts of timber?
Not wide. They're tote roads. They're
Yeah.
20 feet wide tops. And then most of
That's
them
pretty
are,
wide.
Yeah, most of them are 10 or 12 feet wide.
Lots of them that go.
Yep, tons.
Yeah, see, that's my. Typically when I turkey hunt, my morning I'll go set up close to where I know there's a roosted bird. I'll play that game with him. If that doesn't work out and I don't want to sit there and wait him out until that 10 o'clock hour like you're talking about, I like to hit, bigger tracts of timber, get on the roads, the tote roads, and just start running them out, either with a locator call or just turkey calling every 100 yards or so, just trying to find one to strike back.
Yeah.
And it might be hours and miles of walking with nothing. And then, boom, you get one to gobble.
Yeah,
And he's dead in 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and it was all worth it.
And the problem with the tote roads in Maine is I'm pretty sure the guy that cut them, they basically set off a paint bomb and tie it to the ass of a moose and let him run.
Nice.
And then they follow it. So I have no idea why there are no straight tote roads. They're left and right and left and right. It's constant.
But I wonder if that could be an advantage because I would think, like you said, the turkeys want to be on the tote road.
Mm-hmm.
So you could probably use those corners.
You use corners or somewhere where you can see 60 yards.
Right,
roughly.
or even set up 25, 30 off of the corner. So as he comes down that corner, as soon as he turns the corner and realizes there's not a hen there, boom.
See, I've never tried it that way because I'm used to field hunting, obviously. That's what I've taught myself.
We're gonna run some tote roads next
No, there's
week.
plenty of them.
Let's do it.
I know there's a pile of them. And most of the tote roads are in the fields. They're on the edges, and they're through the woods. That's
Right.
how they get from field to field to field.
Right, exactly. And that's probably why those turkeys are using those tote roads as a travel corridor from field to field.
Yep. No, I'll get you all set up so you can play around on some of those because some of the tote roads are very long. They're an hour
Can you
walk.
see a lot of those roads from
No,
on hunt stand?
no, they're too small. Some of them aren't much wider than a walking path that two people could walk side by side, possibly. Yep, 4-wheeler size. Yep, 4 or 5
What is
feet.
that clicking? Can they pick that up on the mic?
I don't know. Probably it's from the wood stove.
It's the fan.
Sounds like one of those what do you call that?
Grandfather clock.
No.
Is that what
A
you're
pendulum.
Yeah, the one that they use to keep the rhythm.
A
I'm
pendulum.
not very musically inclined. Trev, what are you doing over there, bud?
Just
E-scouting or TikToking?
no.
We're over here podcasting.
Yeah, exactly. You just-
me and Mark are making plans for next week. We'll fill you in later.
I'm making cover arts for the episode. As we're talking.
Glad we can help you out.
Someone's got to do it.
That's
you know
very
what I'm
true.
saying?
That's very true.
It
It's
is
about
what
time
it
you did
is.
something.
Yeah,
bud.
So.
Yeah, we can go into more advertising. Don't forget to go on the Nor'easter Game Calls website and get your custom mug.
Oh, I forgot about the
custom
custom
mugs.
mugs.
Custom mugs. We got those this year for the first time with the new laser I've got in the shop.
Those
You
aren't going to make it through Huntstack neither.
No, but you guys got your custom mugs I brought down with your dogs
Yeah, I
on
got
them.
Rip on mine.
Yeah,
he's
he's
gonna
got
love it.
Ruby. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I did that for our laugh so you could see it again. That's on the stainless mug. But yeah, there's a pile of them. Your stuff's on there. My stuff's on there. Some mugs that have like saddle hunting, and some have turkey hunting on them with your logo. And yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff. Like I said, pens.
And that
Pencils.
I might regret saying this, but that's also something where if somebody wanted to reach out to you,
Yep, we can do
You
something.
could-
I
you
could
could-
try it.
right?
Yeah, I'll let them know if I can or not. I mean, I'm
Right.
still a baby with it. I'm still learning.
Right.
But yeah, I've done a bunch of different stuff for people already. The biggest thing is somebody will send you their logo and it's like the size of a postage stamp. It's like 2K. It's like, really?
Right.
So I've got to put it into different programs, try to rebuild it so that's not all pixelated. Because the laser really needs something clean to
Right.
work with. So if it's a decent logo, I can always try it. It's getting people to understand it needs to be a black and white logo, pretty much for the most part.
Right.
Yeah, because lasers don't like red because that means cut. And blue is engrave, and black is score. It's weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah, lasers see color differently. Yep.
Oh.
Yep, like on my old laser, the red means cut it. Yep. And then blue would be in, I think, either score or engrave. I can't remember. But yeah, and then you're black. So it's tough, like with my logo, because it's got the orange and the black.
Right.
I've got to try to remove those colors, but yet retain the logo.
Right. Yeah, because you don't want to lose parts that
Yeah.
are a different color.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of a pain, but yeah, I enjoyed doing the mugs. Like I said, this mug here with my logo squashed, it was me learning. On a stainless mug, you actually have to paint it white with a special spray paint. It's it's basically it reminds me of chalk dust. Mm-hmm. You spray the stainless with this chalk dust, and what it does when the laser hits it, it actually melts it into a black glass, and that's what that is.
That's how you get that color?
Yep. Yeah, so the laser will actually burn that white paint and turn it black, and it burns it right onto the steel. So it's kind of neat how it works. But you see how my logo's kind of squished on that. It was a learning curve. That white dust is slippery as shit. So this goes in a set of rollers, and it's tilted up in the air a little bit. Well, what was happening was the rollers were trying to turn it. It was just sitting there spinning because it was so slippery. So my logo got squished, and then the guy hunting the turkey, that's supposed to be 4.5 inches. it's like 2.5. So it's kind of squished. So I put a rubber band around them on the end to help get some traction, and that took care of the issue. Plus, I stopped it from, they were all sliding forward, so I had to put a little wedge in there and custom make a piece. And yeah. And you've seen your logo this year with the new laser. It's pretty nuts. Mm-hmm. It's crazy how good it does.
I think it's crazy on how many things that you've been able to put it on, and then it comes out super clean.
Yeah,
super clean.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun with those big signs to little tiny pot calls to whatever. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun working with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that we might as well cut this thing off and get to bed and get up and go turkey hunting in the morning. What do you guys say?
9 o'clock sounds good to me.
I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Well, we'll be turkey hunting tomorrow. Sucks to suck. We'll see you on Friday. So
Yeah, I'll be here Friday night.
Yeah, that'll be kind of good. So we'll be here for the rest of the weekend. Let's go kill some turkeys, and hopefully we got a Tales from a Tailgate to kind of lock it up, and that'll be the end of it. So if you guys get bored in the meantime waiting for the next podcast, you guys can go on our YouTube page, Facebook page, The Outdoor Drive. Go and check us out on all social media platforms. Check out NorrisGameCalls.com. huntworthgear.com and bowhuntersunited.com. All the links are below. And for everyone else, thanks for taking the ride right here on the Outdoor Drive.